Hello, everybody. Let's get this thing started, shall we? Let me move this over here. Let's get this started, shall we? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. This is GVS. We're kind of doing a little... Hold on. Am I off-centered? I'm a little off-centered. Whoops. Let's zoom in. There we go. Now I'm a little bit more centered. Okay, that makes sense a little bit. Sorry. I don't know why I was a little off-center. Okay, we can do a few things. The first thing that we got to do is we got to talk about, which in fact, let me cue it up. Hold on. We got to talk about, well, I don't even think I have a, that shows how, well, actually, hold on. Let's pull up this. Because we have a few things to talk about. But the first thing that we kind of got to talk about, and I think we got to address the elephant in the room, like, address me, is apparently Max Crosby got traded back to the Raiders. They're like, nope, never mind, send him back. But I want to see, that looks good. Which, in fact, actually, here, let me scoot up a little bit. Let me scoot over. You guys like my Mario shirt from Mario Day? Here we go. Let's move this. Let's move me that way a little bit. And then we'll reorganize. That looks fine. That looks pretty centered. Looks good. Looks good, people. And then we can go through. What about this one? That one looks fine. What about this one? This one. Oh, this looks perfect. Okay. All right. Just had to double check, make sure these look good. So first things first that we got to kind of talk about, because it is the elephant in the room where it's like, address me, which I think it's actually kind of funny that I've waited, because I wanted to do this stream a little bit earlier, but the thing is, this would have led into, probably could have done 2 streams. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I want to look at whatever's going on in the NFL world that would make Crosby get traded back. Source, look at this. Ravens nixed Crosby deal after physical. See, I had a hunch. Let's dive into it, shall we? Again, this is breaking news. This is something that happened about 30 minutes ago. So if you are just barely tuning in or something, what happened and what had transpired is like 3 or 4 days ago, I made a couple shorts on it, which in fact I was actually in the process of, which I'm actually glad that I never actually hit record and started. I was going to do a rollout of, this is my thoughts on Crosby's time in Oakland. This is my thoughts on what the Ravens get out of having Crosby on their team. I was going to kind of do a reaction to the trade, because I think, dude, this trade deadline has been crazy. It has been freaking crazy, and it's been, okay, I've been streaming for a couple of minutes. It's been ass wild. Okay, there I said it. You know, I think you have to wait. There's a buffering where you have to wait a little bit before you can cuss or something. Anyways, but no, I think, no, this shit's been wild. I mean, I haven't talked about Mike Evans. There's a handful of Chief defenders that went over to the Rams. Kenneth frickin' Walker, the MVP of the Super Bowl, went from the Seahawks to the Chiefs, which I think, okay, this is going to be a hot take here. I think that was a little premeditated. And I think the reason why I think it was a little premeditated, hear me out. Nobody talked about all off season until like recently, like within the last week and a half. So we knew he was coming up on his contract, and right after the Super Bowl's won, he wins the MVP. What did we start talking about? We started talking about NFL players who won the Super Bowl MVP and then were traded and on different teams by the next season. I mean, Desmond Howard. When you think about, I mean, I wasn't alive in Super Bowl 31, around Super Bowl 31 in the like late 80s, early 90s when that one happened. That was Brett Favre's first and only Super Bowl. Um, but like, yeah, I believe he went from like the Packers to the Raiders. There's a handful of other players that like have been traded. You look at Von Miller. Von Miller didn't leave. He didn't leave the Broncos right away. He won Super Bowl 50. But then, yes, I believe after. Was it the 2020 season? I don't remember. I think, yeah, I think him and Odell both. I think he got traded at the beginning of the year, and then Odell got traded during the mid-season trade deadline, or something like that. But like he won Super Bowl MVP with the Broncos, and then he ended up with the Rams, and then they won the Super Bowl. They talked about Malcolm Smith, who won the Super Bowl MVP with the Seahawks. He was traded to the Raiders within like a year and a half or something. Anyways, but like there have been talks and there have been like rumors and reports all off season, and we've been building to, Kenneth Walker's probably not going to be in Seattle. And how I looked at it, and I never thought I needed to come out and make a video because I thought it was all just kind of, dust in the wind. Not to name drop a song I did, but like I thought that it was just kind of, we're getting to the point where we're about a month away from the NFL draft, and football's slow, and so we need to talk about stuff. We need to look at the offseason movements. And so when people were talking Kenneth Walker's going to move and switch teams, my initial thoughts and reactions to that, I thought it was all BS, and I thought, it's just a topic to talk about. I think it's just, we got to talk about something. But then, because personally, I thought another thing too, because it's kind of what Saquon did going from the Giants to the Eagles. I think he reset the market. Either he reset the market, or when Jonathan Taylor re-signed with the Colts, they reset the market. And so that's what I thought was going on. Because another thing people talked about was the awkwardness with the Super Bowl celebration, with how the owner was talking about like contract negotiations and stuff. And so I just thought it was all just, here's what's going to happen. People are going to get loud. People are going to talk about it. But then when it's time to pay the piper, here's what's going to happen. Walker is going to reset the running back market and get it to about even keel. Because, gosh, how many... I want to say the last 4 off seasons, whether it's Barkley, Taylor. We're seeing it with Derrick Henry going from the Titans to the Ravens. We saw it with CMC going from the Panthers to the Niners. It's like that staple of you need to have a dominant running back, a 3-down back that can get you that first down, or be a weapon utilities out of the backfield. No one gives a shit anymore. And so, like, we just over the last handful of seasons, we've kind of just, whatever. Okay, we have a we have a running back. Oh, okay, whatever. Like, which with Travis Etienne going from Jacksonville to New Orleans, are they going to have a two-headed monster in the backfield with Alvin Kamara? I am kind of thinking and leaning on, well, if we're going to go from example of Dallas or Seattle, no, Ezekiel Elliott ended up leaving, and then Tony Pollard took over. And then with Seattle, it was between Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, and we've seen where it's going. You know what I mean? Now, funny thing is, because with, like, when you look at this article and stuff, the biggest thing that was said at the bottom was trades are not finalized till tomorrow or something like that, because I think a lot of people are wondering, well, what the hell, we're backing out of a trade and stuff, and how, so does that mean everything that we've seen up until this point is tampering? So does that mean that Tampa Bay can be, actually, you know what, F you 49ers, we want Mike Evans coming back? Like, I don't know. But anyways, all this to say, the thoughts that I was thinking of with Kenneth Walker and the loud noises of would he switch a team, Super Bowl MVPs have switched teams, paying running backs, blah, blah, blah. All of it told me he's coming back. Everybody's going to talk, everybody's going to make their articles, and guess what? He's going to come back and he's going to be a running back that makes 25 million a year, 30 million a year, something like that. Because I think him, Pacheco, because Henry, McCaffrey, Saquon, they've all been paid. I'm looking at some of the running backs that are coming up on there. Hey, we need another contract. I mean, I think Aaron Jones. I think the Vikings let Aaron Jones go. Maybe I got there and that was a fake thing, but like, I mean, Josh Jacobs as well. We saw what happened. Like that's, Josh Jacobs going to the Packers is why Aaron Jones left. But anyways, all this to say, like, we know where the running back market is, and I just thought with all the news, it's like, oh, this is lining up. He's going to make 30 million a year or something like that, and then boom, Kansas City's like, no, actually, we want him. Which, look, hey, we complain and we talk crap, and we're like, what the hell? Why are the Chiefs so damn good? This and that. There were 31 other teams, including his own team, Seattle, that could have signed him, and they didn't. DJ Moore, you know what's funny is everybody's talking about how DJ Moore is a great receiver for... DJ Moore also can play running back too. So it's like, what? Huh? Or, oh gosh, like, because I haven't even talked about David Montgomery going from the Lions to the Texans. I haven't made a video on that, but like, just it's so funny. It's like, I mean, I think with what Seattle had with Walker and Charbonnet, with what the Lions had with the two-back system, dude, a two-back system is not broken. The only broken thing, if you look at it, and if you want to look at it this way, the only time things get broken, if it's going to be a two-back system or something, two quarterbacks. If you're running a two-quarterback system, that's when things get a little broken, because it's like, which quarterback do you want out there? But like, how many subs sometimes, or like there's a rotation of wide receivers for different looks, or defenses between running a 3-4 or a nickel. You know what I mean? Like, there's different packages for different things, because, hey, you know what? I bet if we broke down the film 1,000%, is Crosby out there for 99.99999% of the snaps for the Raiders? I mean, if it were up to him, yeah, he would be, but there are plays that he has probably taken off because he's on the sideline. You see what I mean? And I don't know. I think having two running backs is a good thing, because, I mean, you split the workload and you don't have to have one dude be the... Look at it this way, too. When you look at the Eagles and you look at the durability and the dynamicness of, like, Jalen Hurts, and how Jalen Hurts is as much of a runner as he is a passer, and, a tush-push merchant, which, I could make a video and just rip as much as I want about how much we all talk shit about the tush-push and we want to ban it, yet you go watch the tape. How many other teams alone in the postseason, and then in kind of the final weeks for a playoff push, how many of them use that play? All of them. And it's like, I thought we hated this play. What? We want to get rid of it? No. But back to what I was saying is, when a lot of, where, and you look at with the 49ers too this year with McCaffrey, and how he struggled more as a running back this year, yardage wise and stat wise and stuff, and productivity wise. But a lot of games where Saquon's not doing so well in the running game, who makes up for it? Jalen in the running game. You know what I mean? And in turn, also sometimes when, their passing game's getting shut down, and then we got to open up the run game, there's Saquon to help carry the load. You know what I mean? And so I kind of think to expect, one running back throughout the whole season have over 100 carries and just be 25 to 30 touches a game for one whole season, I mean, it's too much. I think, you look at the longevity of certain players and stuff, like there are running backs who want that demand that, and want to be that guy. But again, if you're trying to keep players healthy and safe, and not healthy in the ways of like, oh my gosh, every single player you're going to go out there and roll your ankle, but like, how many times when we get towards the end of the season, yes, guys are already playing through injury, but if, I mean, I don't know, I didn't comb over it, and look at every fine detail of it, but between Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, who had more touches and carries throughout the year? Could Charbonnet's injury have been limited and not have happened if their load management was a little bit more divvied out because of the wear and tear on the body? I don't know. We could have fun this offseason and dive into it. And I could, go look at it and come back and go, okay, look at this. Look what I found or something. But anyways, I've been yapping a lot. We are here for the Max Crosby trade. Sources, Ravens. Oh, never mind. All right. But this thing says, sources, Ravens next trade for Crosby due to medical concerns. Okay, I have not read this yet, but let's get into it, guys. If you enjoy sports, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Here's what we're gonna do. Henderson, Nevada, the Las Vegas Raiders announced Tuesday that the Ravens have backed out of the trade agreement that would have sent All-Pro defensive end Max Crosby to Baltimore in exchange for 2 first rounds. No further details were provided in the Raiders' announcement, but league sources told ESPN the Ravens backed out because of medical concerns that arose during a physical. Trades are contingent, I butchered the hell out of that word, on what? Players passing the physical and aren't until blah, 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 blah. Till the physical new year. Because one of y'all in the comments talked about how the 2 games he sat out. And there were parts of me that thought, maybe there's something there that's lingering. But no, I can actually think that the Ravens, not the Ravens. The Raiders said he tore his ACL, but then he came out and said, no, I didn't. Because we saw the infamous videos of him playing basketball and dunking on, well, I don't know if it was his ACL, his ankle, whatever. Like, let's just label it a hockey injury, lower body, okay? But he said he was good. Parts of me, which, it's kind of funny that this article is kind of talking about that. There's parts of me that think, okay, someone's, someone's like, I'm going to sue the shit out of him or something, because, I mean, I have never seen any trades get backed out of. I've never seen it. Like, we've seen dumb's not the right word, but like rumors. I mean, hell sakes. 2-3 weeks ago, we were talking about Lamar Jackson getting traded from Baltimore to Vegas. You see what I mean? And, I just think, like, we have seen rumors and talks of, like, this is what's going to happen. But I've never seen an announcement of, hey, this is, and then, nope, it's not happening. So I think parts of me think that maybe, because the other thing that people are talking about, too, and I'm not trying to, I don't know, but, like, everybody's blaming the Cowboys. Everybody's saying, oh, he was going to go to the Cowboys. And so parts of me are thinking, with, I don't know, just the rules or regulations or stuff behind the scenes, could it be the Cowboys wanted to bid for him and trade for him, but they weren't allowed to go get him because Crosby needed to pass a physical exam upon leaving the Raiders or something? But then he didn't do that physical, didn't pass it. But then the Ravens were like, I don't care. And they just, like, blitzed through all of this stuff and said, no, we're just going to sign him anyways. And then Jerry Jones is like, no, not on my watch or something. And that's where I like, I don't know. And that's where I make the jokes about someone, is going to get the shit suit out of them. Because, I mean, we're seeing it right now with the NIL portal. One player, there was a QB for Washington, but then also there was another player. There was a basketball one where they wanted to hit the portal, but because, like, again, you waited to something where it's like quick boom boom, it was like whoa 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 whoa, we're breaking some kind of rules here, and that's where the school ended up suing him, and he came back. I don't know. This Crosby thing. I'm gonna be real. I'll take the player's word for it. If Crosby was saying, which in fact, let me pull it up. Let's see if we can find it. Which if I can find it, Max Crosby trade. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. Ravens cancel Max Crosby trade after failed physical. Now, failed physical, does that mean, which it's funny too, because somebody in the comments also made a joke about how he failed a drug test. Was the dude partying a little too hard, smoked some weed, and then whoops? Which, again, if that's why this is backed out, it's like, okay, come on. You don't think majority of the NFL players smoke weed? You're out of your freaking mind, dude. Half the reason why Aaron Rodgers was so good is because he was playing on Percocets, and he has admitted to that. You see, anyways, I feel like Meg's going, how is it possible? Never mind. No, Max Crosby, healthy video. Healthy video. It was when it's this one. Let the fans know recovery is going well. Yeah, he did this little basketball video, and he's like, I'm good. Which, by the way, as you can see, he's wearing like some type of compression sleeve, which makes me think, okay, maybe he didn't get surgery. And then he has this video, which could he have said something in this video? I haven't watched this video, but I need to watch it. I consider myself a journalist, and I haven't even watched this video. Could he have said something in this video where the Ravens are like, time out, time out, we gotta send him back? I don't think parts of me think it's the Raiders. Like, I think, genuinely speaking, I think the Ravens want him. But, I mean, look at this. The NFL posted this 8 hours ago. Ravens acquired defensive end Max Crosby from the Raiders for 2026 and 2027 first-round pick. Defensive end Max Crosby is being traded, blah, 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 blah. I'm a Raider for life, but it is a new day. I'm thinking there was something. I don't think this is on the Ravens. I literally think this is on the Raiders. I think this could be I hate to use the term, but like a bitter ex-girlfriend type term, where it's like, no, bitch, you ain't leaving that easy. I'm taking the house or the kids. Something like, because dude, if the Ravens were willing to give up 2 first-round picks, like, what, they already made the, hey, we're going all in. Why would they just be like, no, I backed out? Like, because if they didn't want him, they wouldn't want him. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have given up that much for him. They would have been like, oh, Max Crosby, let the phone ring. We don't want him. So something, in my honest opinion, inside coverage, okay. In my honest opinion, I think this has more to do with the Raiders dragging him back to Vegas rather than Baltimore being like, never mind, we actually don't want you. You weren't 1000% honest on your potential torn ACL? Never mind, we don't want you. Look, all these videos are already so outdated because he's going back. I don't think he's going back. Basketball video. Let me see basketball. Yeah, no, there's a video where it is this video. It's but I think he might have even talked again or said something again because and the tramp video, yes, the tramp video of him bouncing around. Which again, if he's actually, he has a torn ACL and he's just acting through it when it's like, holy shit, my knee hurts. Funny, but I don't know. I don't think this has anything to do with the ACL. I think yeah, I'm probably gonna sit on that side of the hill. I think the Raiders are pissed he left. And they found that one small little loophole to say, nope, get your ass back here. I also I also saw this, which I don't even want to make a video on this because I can't. Oh my gosh. You have got to be kidding me. Look at this. Most wins by a Jets quarterback since 2013. You've got to be kidding me. Sam Darnold, 13. Fitz with 13. Gino with 12. And Zach Wilson with 12. Wow. That is bad. But this. Sources. Jets get their QB. Trade with Raiders for Geno Smith. Okay. Alright. So apparently Wendy's was wrong. Wendy's don't know ball. Gino wasn't going anywhere. We knew he wasn't out of the league. Now, so if Gino goes there, where's Tyrod Taylor going? Or Justin Fields? Let me see Justin Fields. Status questionable. Nothing. What about, okay, let's go Tyrod Taylor. And then there's also Cook. I forget Brady Cook as well. So this is their So this is their full roster right here. Tyrod Taylor, Brady Cook, Justin Fields, Hendon Hooker, Geno Smith, and Bailey Zappi. If I were to pick the best quarterback here, I don't freaking know. Hendon Hooker. Because I think we haven't actually seen any Hooker lately. And we know we've seen Justin Fields' ceilings and pitfalls. We've seen Tyrod Taylor's ceilings and pitfalls. We saw what Geno did with the Raiders last year. I'd let Bailey Zappi and Hendon Hooker battle for number one. That's me. I know that sounds stupid. That sounds crazy. But, I mean, if we're in a young man's league, driven, where veterans lead, but it's ultimately driven by the young guys, throw Brady Cook in there as well, but let the young guys battle for it, because I'd send Justin Fields to somewhere else, because 1, 2, 3, 6. You have 6 quarterbacks. No, I wouldn't be surprised if half of them are gone by draft night. And then that's not to also say, dude, somebody is gonna, whether it's Simpson, Nussmeier, Drew Aller, one of them is gonna just jump up the draft board, and the Jets are gonna go get him. Just saying. So there's that. There is that. Or the Jets could be like, hey, Oakland, how much do you want for that first pick? And then they go get Mendoza. I don't know. But it's already kind of set in stone that Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Raider, which, yeah. All right, so back to it. What about the Giants? What about did Jameis Winston go anywhere? I spelled that wrong. Looks like he's still on the yeah. Which again, I could see Justin Fields going to one of these teams or some. I don't know. Like it's honestly up to the teams roster. I mean, 1, 2, 3. Like this has a 3 quarterback room. The Dolphins. Don't even get me freaking started, dude. Don't even freaking get me started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quarterback room. Who the hell? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. You see this lately? Apparently this can get you paid $32 million. You want to know who's probably pissed as shit? Quinn Ewers. And then also, I haven't even... we got to talk about this. You know we got to talk about that. We will talk about this. We will talk about Tua going to the Falcons because we just got to. We got to. Anyways, but that's my thoughts on... It's got to be here. Max Crosby status. Because in December, oh yeah. Look, it's right here. So this is when he left the facility. Again, this is towards the end of the year because the Raiders shut him down and they didn't let him play the last 2 games. And with the rising tensions of like him leaving in the first place, this is another reason why I don't think he's coming back. Like even if he, because I could see a situation also where we have a Trey Hendrickson situation on our hands where I think Max Crosby is going to play football this season. I don't think he's going to sit out like the first rounder did for the Bengals. I think if it's a Trey Hendrickson situation, what it's going to be is he's going to sit out and he's going to play the long game until we get to May, June-ish, where teams are coming back and doing camps. And they're gonna break the bank. They're gonna pay him like $50 million or something. I don't know the yearly, but they're gonna do the 1-year deal and then just open the bank, just like how the Bengals did with Trey Hendrickson, because he sat out. Remember, he sat out some time and said, "Hell no, I'm not coming back. I want the long contract." And the Bengals said, "Hold my nuts." And then he was like, "Okay, fine." And then they reduced it to the 1 year X amount of dollars. I can't remember it off the top of my head, which, in fact, we can actually just look it up. Trey, because yeah, he's in talk with going to the Cowboys, which I thought it was so stupid, because it's like, if Trey Hendrickson goes from the Bengals to the Raiders, and then, like, with the Raiders, if the Raiders let Max Crosby go, what a freaking waste. Instead of trying to hold on to Max Crosby and then get Hendrickson to come over. Again, what a freaking waste. If that can't work. Contract. Nope. Bengals. This is all 30 million. Yep. 30 million in 2025. Okay. That's like, this seems like a credible source. We'll just go with that. But yeah, he wanted, I believe, like a 6 or 7 year. Oh, 6, 7. No, he wanted he wanted a long deal and he didn't get one. And yep, here we go. See, July. We're all the way back in July. Yeah, that's all last offseason was with him, which, you know what? No, The dude should have won the MVP. The dude should have won the freaking defensive MVP. I'm still sitting there saying it because he led the league in sacks, and not by like a half sack, like kind of like how Myles Garrett was this year. Like there was a significant distance, but then I think because of how bad and how much we've joked about how bad the Bengals defense was, and how they missed the postseason, I think that's why he didn't end up winning it. All right, enough of me yapping though. That is we got to start to talk about college hoops, people. we are not we are not here to freaking talk about football. We're here to talk about college hoops. But yeah, well, hey, we will get into it because there are so many memes. There have been so many memes about Tua and Michael Penix. Where is live tracking updates? Let's see if we got any more. Texans back out of... Oh, come on. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of our trade agreement for Max Crosby. We will have no further comment at this time. Yeah, that, to me, that just goes, we win. Yeah. No, it... Because, again, I don't think you... Look, however you pass the physical or fail the physical, there are not 31 other teams that go, okay, we'll get it fixed, but you're going to be here. Come do training procedures here and come rehab your knee here. Like, Oh, Tommy Townsend is going to the Titans. The other thing oh, yeah, look at this. One more. We'll show one more. Sorry. See this? Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about with Hendrickson. Okay, he might be wrapping it up because look at this. 1 year, $32 million. Yep. He's getting up there. He might be done. Yeah, there's been so much. All right, let's do. Okay, let's get back to basketball, shall we? Okay, sorry to keep you guys waiting. We've been needing to do some basketball. How are we looking? Oh, perfect. Looks good. Okay. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is... Hold on, let me... Holy frick. I don't know, I'm yawning. I shouldn't be tired. Okay. Let's turn this up just a titch. Just a titch. How do you know it's one of my sports streams? Because we've been streaming for 40 minutes and the topic at hand, you see in the title, is about hoops. And it's taken 43 minutes to get to hoops. Okay, all right, let's get into it now. Which in fact we have a final score between this, because these two games were today. The bottom of the bottoms, which while I was in the process of making this, I noticed other teams like Georgia Tech, Boston College, Notre Dame. There were a handful of teams that didn't even get to go to their respective conferences tournament. So let me go. And the thing though is with maybe it's a pick and choose sorta with the tournaments, is you looked at Maryland or you looked at Oregon's record. They both have losing records by like significant margin. Like it's not like we're sitting around 500. No, like I believe Maryland had 10 wins and like 19 losses or something like that. Let me go look, see if there are any live basketball games right now. Shit, I'm muted. Sorry, people. I didn't realize I was muted. Whoops. Sorry, people. This is not the first time this has freaking happened. This always freaking happens. I always get muted, and I don't realize I'm muted till it's like, oh, hey, I've been streaming for the last 30 minutes muted. I don't even realize it. Okay. Let's get into... Okay, here's what we're gonna... I said I picked Minnesota because they have a better record. Even though this team lost, but this team is losing, I would have picked these two teams. I'm gonna pick Indiana because Indiana, for some parts of this season, we're having a really good year. I'll pick Washington because they're purple. I don't know. I've been really bad, and I haven't watched much basketball. Okay, I'll pick Iowa for namesake, just because, well, Oregon's already eliminated. All right, now here's where the fun begins. I will pick Ohio State. Okay, and then we'll get to Michigan. So let them sit there for fun. Out of Wisconsin and it's not Wisconsin and Indiana, it's Wisconsin and Washington. I will pick the Badgers winning to have a rematch of the regular season, because these two played in the regular season. And guess who won? See where I'm going? I want the... Oh my gosh, they're not even playing Michigan. Whoops, they're playing Illinois. Sorry. And then Indiana and Purdue, in-state rival. I'm going to pick Purdue, and the reason why I'm going to pick Purdue is Purdue started the season off really hot, And then in their last, I think they started 13-1. There's a, let's go look it up. Let's go look it up right now. There's a goal. Somebody scored a goal. Purdue. It's taking too long. Purdue, where's Purdue? There's Purdue. Okay. Yes, again, they started 13-1. And then they lost the 3 in a row, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then in their final 13 games, they only won 6. So started 13-1, and then went 6-7 for the remainder of their season, which is so. Yeah, could there have been an injury? I don't know. Just a mid-season collapse of some kind? Is Purdue the most disappointing team in college basketball? Depends on who you ask. I would say no, because where were their expectations coming into the season? You know what I mean? If anybody's the biggest disappointment in college basketball, it's Duke, because every year we think they win it, and they're going to win it, and then they don't. Oof. All right. So then Purdue, UCLA, and Minnesota. Give me UCLA. I don't care. All right. But it really doesn't matter because Sparty's going to win here. And then the Huskers and Purdue. If the train gets rolling and they catch some momentum from the 7 seed, if they catch momentum, they will get to the final because of just what they're again, like with just Smith and kind of like the expectations that Purdue had going into the year. And they'll like, but again, that's if they can catch momentum and get 4 wins in a row, which no, because we've seen what the second half of the season was, which I think they were in the top 10 for a big chunk of the beginning of the season too. So anyways, out of Wisconsin and Illinois, I'm going to be stupid and I'm going to say Wisconsin's going to win, which dude, I have no clue. I haven't watched any basketball. I don't know ball. I don't know which team's better. I don't know if they've played each other in the regular season, who's better, which in fact, we might as well look it up. Let me go look it up real quick. Hold on, old sport. Let's go look it up. Teams. (22-9). Hey, that's not bad. 22-9 is not bad at all. And when they played Illinois, they beat them in overtime. So okay, maybe I'm not that dumb. Maybe I do know ball. Maybe I do know ball. And so then Ohio State and Michigan. Here's the thing. I kind of joked about this in a different stream where I said, how crazy would it be if for the season finale of the Big Ten to be, sorry, this is freaking, okay, we get it. We get it. The lights are flickering there in the stadium. Gosh, that was getting annoying there for a little bit. Hold on. Oh, the Spurs. Dude, the Spurs are... Wait a minute. Hold on. The World Baseball Classics tonight? What? Team USA is playing right now? Oh my gosh. I haven't even given a reaction to Scooble as well. Because Scooble went from... Like, he left the team. Paul Goldschmidt here up to bat. Oh, he must have struck out if they're on commercial. I rewound it a little bit. Breaking news. Raiders announce Ravens. Yeah. Dude, and Italy's up. Dude, Italy is up 3-0 against Team USA 2, going to the top of the third. Okay. Which is, again, I haven't given a video reaction, but I'm going to have to look into it. I think with Scooble leaving Team USA, that's going to have a huge impact. And I was talking about how stacked Team USA's roster is, I compared it to Team Canada's hockey team in the Olympics. We saw what happened to Team Canada without Sidney Crosby. Let's watch and see what happens to Team USA without Scooble. I think you need the best players there if you want to compete and win. And if he's not there, maybe it will be the Dominican Republic winning it all. Or Japan. Japan very well could go back to back. Anyways. So yeah, we'll have that on in the background. That's fun. All right. Enough yapping. Let's get back to the hoops. Out of Ohio State and Michigan. Oh yeah, because back to my my thought that I had. I don't think with where the brackets were set up, that's what ended up like being the choice here with the predictions that I was making is I didn't think the Big Ten season ender would be between Michigan and Michigan State, and then the Big Ten final would be between Michigan and Michigan State, and then we play through our bracket, and then look at the final. On one side we got Michigan State against Gonzaga or UConn, and then on the other side we have Michigan against Duke, and then Duke and Michigan both win, and then we have a final and a rematch where, these guys met 3 times in the month of March. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, if that is the case, all that to being said, if Michigan wins this game against Ohio State, then I could see Michigan beating Wisconsin and then Michigan being in the championship game here. But then Nebraska gets an upset, and then we have Nebraska right here. I wouldn't mind. I'd love to see Michigan against Michigan State in the final. That'd be really fun. That'd probably be my first prediction. But if I'm going to play it safe, and how it is March Madness, how there are upsets that do happen, you're going to make... I don't like it. Because the other one that I had was these two. These two meeting up. But then, it very well actually could be. I don't know. I think the winner of this is going to go to the final. We've seen how Ohio State has had a resurgence right now, and they're playing real good basketball. Ohio State is where Indiana was a couple weeks ago. And I don't think I think Indiana's one of those bubble teams where if they don't win, I don't think, if Indiana doesn't win at all, I don't think they're in. Same with Penn State and Northwestern and all, because here's the fun thing, and this is what I love about college basketball, kind of, is where we sit here, as I've already written off the Rutgers because I didn't even have them beating Minnesota. The fun thing is if the Rutgers win it all, or Wisconsin wins it all, they have that automatic bid. And that is what I love about college basketball. Because I mean, yeah, we saw the regular season. We saw how Oregon barely got over 10 wins versus Michigan that had over 20. I think they went 29-2. And like there's the duality of it is kind of funny where yeah, if, we can take Maryland too cuz they're the 17th. But yeah, if Maryland beats Iowa and then beats Ohio State, hell yeah, I think they could beat Michigan cuz there's a lot of momentum riding. And again, we saw it with NC State, we saw it with Loyola Chicago, we've seen it with, I mean, Cardiac Kimba. Does anybody remember that? Which I know is a big stretch because UConn was not the 17th ranked team in their own tournament, but the regular season ended, and kind of we have a new, for lack of a better term, new fresh set of ice, and I really think whichever team can play 4 good games, which I think they also showed. Was it Iowa? It was like Iowa in 2001, or they couldn't have been ranked any farther from an 8th seed because what one of the, I think they either combined all, like the Big East, the ACC, they combined all of the conferences or just did the Big Ten. They said one of the records for like best tournament run, I believe it was Iowa, but they said 4 wins in 4 days. Um, so again, win one, win two, win three, win four. So they couldn't have been any worse than a 7th or 8th seed. Okay, but anyways, back to it. I think that's what's cool about the tournament is Indiana could catch some fire here, and I mean Wisconsin beat Michigan. Nebraska was really good during the season. Michigan State, they made it a battle against Michigan, and so I think that if Ohio State beats Michigan, they damn well could win the whole thing. Same with Sparty. You know what? For fun though, I think Michigan's gonna win the whole damn thing, which is very bold because it's like, oh, how original. Um, I don't know. I'd rank it. If I were to rank who could win it over the others, let me move some stuff around. And then I would say these are the 4. I break it down to one of these 4, which I know that's not hard to predict because it's like it's the top 4 teams. But I don't think Illinois could win it. Now that I think about it, I don't. Well, Nebraska kind of had one of those. Say with Miami, Ohio, where it's like, yeah, that was the 2019 Dayton. That was 2020 Kansas. That was, or it's like, oh yeah, I remember that squad. The 2018 Loyola Chicago. Yeah, I remember. So maybe we could have a situation with the Huskers where the Huskers are really good this year. They win the whole thing, and then it's like, and then they never went to March Madness for another 20 years. I would say, yeah, one of these 4 teams. Okay. But, yeah, if not Michigan, then Michigan State. But I don't think these 2 are going to play in the final. There's my predictions. Okay. All right. I already predicted ASU. So we'll have Sparty moving on. You know what? Give me Sparty. I don't think Sparty can beat Iowa State. I predicted Utah against Cincy. I know they lost, but whatever. BYU and Kansas State. Give me the Cougs, man. I think the Cougs are a good team. I think they can go. We'll see. We'll see how far they can go. Dude, I don't even know. Here, let me just pick the buffs for fun, for the hell of it. Okay. Now, out of here, I know this is terrible. Dude, I don't know. Give me Utah. I'll take Utah. Give me the Cougs again, actually. And then probably TCU. But then we're going to pick TCU more than once because we're going to have TCU moving all the way. Yep, and we'll start from the bottom and we'll loop our way back up. Houston's beating BYU. That's not even up for debate. Not even up for debate. Too many guys sitting for the Cougs. Arizona. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, I don't like where this is going. I do not like where this is going. Okay, we will stop. Everybody pause for 2 seconds. Everybody pause for 2 seconds. I think I don't think we're gonna get the one because Arizona's the 1 seed. Houston the 2 seed. I don't think and again, kind of like how I was feeling with Michigan and Michigan State. I don't think you can chalk it just all, the higher seed goes every single time. Because we saw a couple weeks ago these two teams played, and this was when Texas Tech went on their little run where they caught some momentum and they beat Arizona and added to that resume of their top 10 wins. But then they have fallen apart since, because they lost to Arizona State, they lost to BYU. I don't think they're healthy either. I think they're missing some players. I will take. Here's the thing. I'm going to take Houston or TCU. But for yeah, give me Texas Tech. Yep, give me Texas Tech. Well, when was the last time? Has Arizona won? Let me see if Arizona won a Pac-12 championship. On a Pac-12 championship. Let's see. Basketball. In 2022 and 2023. So they have won. They've won conference championships before. They defeated UCLA to win their second straight tournament title in 2022. In Tommy Lloyd's first year, they won. So a regular season winner and a Pac-12, those have gone hand in hand. So it's not. As the number 1 seed, Arizona reached the semifinal, finishing their final season in the conference. So then, Pac-12 basketball. Arizona. Who did 2024? Who'd they lose to in 2024? Colorado, Arizona. Oh, it was probably Oregon. No, who? Pac-12. Not track and basketball. We didn't specify. That's why it's being weird. See, yeah, it was Oregon. It was Oregon. Now, who did Oregon play? I have no freaking clue. Oh, well, if it. Hold on. No, no, no. Oh, they played Colorado. They played Colorado. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'll pick Houston though. At the end of the day, I'll pick Houston. Why? Because I think Houston's on a bit of a revenge tour, for lack of a better term. So I'll put Houston here. And if anybody's curious about baseball, Italy is still up 3-0, bottom of the third. Okay, so we have two so far. We got Michigan. We got Houston. And in my predictions, look at this. Let me show you something. Let me show you a little something here. Because again, I don't think the best team always wins every single time. And then from there, I'll say probably BYU. And then from BYU, probably Kansas. I think Kansas has... Well, there's the thing. Is that one player for Kansas going to play or is he going to sit? Because if he sits, that's going to be a problem. And I think TCU is going to just mop the floor and move on. And even if Kansas gets past TCU and then they play Houston, Houston's going to beat him. Yeah. This is how I would order the Big 12 probably. Depending on health of players, you could move that one. And then depending on momentum, if you want to just talk about momentum, go look at Arizona's track history, man. Sometimes, yeah. There have been a lot of seasons where they've come up short. All right. Okay. Moving on. Oh, the Big East. The Big East. I'll pick Marquette because Marquette actually has a lot of momentum riding right now. So let's go there, and then from here, real quick, UConn is going to come back and they're going to smack them around like that. The loss, I think, was one of two things. A, it was in Marquette. And I think it's one of those yearly, okay, this is the game that, whoops, we pissed them off, and here comes UConn. So I'll pick Georgetown, because I don't think I've ever seen DePaul, Providence. I've never seen big tournament runs out of... I haven't seen one out of Butler in a while. I haven't seen one out of Xavier in a decade. Because didn't they win it all in 2017 or 2018? And then, the last handful of years it's been Villanova, UConn, or St. John's. Because St. John's won it last year. And then the year before, UConn went back-to-back. Because they also went back-to-back finals. And then in 22 Villanova won it, and then in 21 Georgetown won it. So, all right, okay. I think that's the order. off the top of my head. All right, let's keep it going. Sorry, guys. Do we actually, in fact, let me check one thing. How are we doing on? Oh, we have no music. We gotta put it. That's one thing I gotta fix too. We'll get that fixed. We'll get that fixed. All right. Okay. Out of Providence and Butler, I'll take Butler. This is a logo battle here. I don't know. Like again, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like dude, I don't know ball. Like, I know the big teams and the big names, kind of, and maybe some big players that are on those teams respectfully. But, like, the ins and outs of, like, yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember when Providence played Butler in November. This is an example. I don't know if they actually played in November. But, like, the ins and outs of everything like that and those little details, I have no clue. I'm kind of going based off of logos and kind of buzz that I've heard. Like, I've heard a lot of buzz with UConn. I've heard a lot of buzz with St. John's lately. So, hey, spoiler alert, that's who I'm going to have in the final. And spoiler alert, do you want me to tell you who wins right now? Because I will. Because everybody's been talking about UConn getting back to the top of college basketball and winning the Final Four. But I think from regular season play, I mean, these two teams met, a week ago? And UConn beat them by 30. 30. Now that has all the makings for St. John's to be like, hey, yeah, you beat us by 30, watch this. We're going to beat you by 30. And then they beat ass. Out of Creighton and Seton Hall, I have no clue. Let's go to the regular season. Whoever won the regular season matchup, that's who I'm picking. Because I have no clue. These aren't the Creighton teams that I've watched. They have had a lot of players leave, and I mean, even the coach has gone on record and been like, I do not know how to coach these guys, because I mean, it's tough. Okay. Well, and then also 15 and 16 versus Creighton alone, without having to have a Creighton teams of old. Yeah, they're probably losing to Gonzaga, not by this much, but they'll lose to Gonzaga. They'll beat Oregon and Baylor, my bad. They'll beat Baylor and Iowa State. They'll beat Nebraska. Or even with Nebraska's surge and having a good year, they'll lose this one. But they wouldn't lose to Kansas State. They wouldn't lose to Providence. They wouldn't lose to, oh my gosh, Seton Hall. So they went 1-1 with Seton Hall. 1-1. St. John's lost. They lost to DePaul also. Dude, they got swept by DePaul and Providence. Shit. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm picking Seton Hall. I've seen enough. We're picking them. All right. And then we'll pick. Like I said, we'll have UConn here, and then it's always Villanova. Whoops, wrong button. Let me have Villanova getting past, and then come on now. You guys already know. You already know. It's no question in my mind. With Gus Johnson on the call and everybody yelling and hoops and dunks and chippiness and scrappy basketball, I'd debate and say that college basketball is a little bit better than the NBA, but not, I don't know, in defense wise. Talent wise and like fancy plays, oh hell no, it's NBA all day. But if you like defense, all right. And then out of St. John's and UConn, dude, give me freaking UConn. Oh, no. Give me UConn. I don't see especially with the high praise. Oh, let me move these guys up. Whoops. Big East tournament. With the high praise that UConn has right now, and kind of a lot of people are projecting the 2 or 3 teams that I keep, like Duke is always in the conversation, but UConn's in the conversation, Michigan's in the conversation, Michigan State's in the conversation, Arizona, Houston, yeah. All right, let's move on. I'll have UConn winning. And then in the ACC, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. Duke wins it all. No, I have no clue who could beat Duke. Out of Pitt and Stanford, I think I picked Stanford. I would have picked the Orange. I know they didn't win. But we're just going to... And I have Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. I'll just pick Virginia Tech for the hell of it. Like how I said a little bit earlier in the stream, not all the ACC teams got to participate. Like Boston College didn't go, Georgia Tech didn't go. Like they capped it at 15 teams, which is weird because freaking, dude, Big Ten has 18, but we don't make the rules. Cal and Florida State, I'll take Florida State. And then I'll Florida State and Duke, I'll take Dookie. And then we're going to have a rematch. Okay. From here, I think North Carolina has the best chance to beat Duke, but they're not going to. Out of Virginia and Miami, just for the hell of it, I'm going to take Miami. But then out of Miami and Duke, I'm taking Duke. See how easy that was? Wow, guys. Guys, that was super easy. That one, oof. Guys, I'm sweating right now. That was the toughest one to predict. I think what kind of gets in the way, the freshman from North Carolina broke his finger. I think that's a big impact. Kind of like, I mean, you look at the Big 12 with Richie Saunders for BYU having a torn ACL. I do think injuries are a big component. I don't know anything about the Cavaliers or NC State or, I mean, for hell's sakes, SMU. SMU would be what the NC State was a couple years back, where the 11th seed just goes all the way and wins it. But I think the ACC, and oh shit, Italy just scored a 2-run homer. I'm telling you, what the hell are we doing? Yikes, bro. So you're telling me Team USA is beatable. You're telling me they're not going to win it all. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing? Whoops. Let me get that out of the way. Rough outing. That is a rough outing, bro. Rough. Dude, that is super freaking rough, man. Alright, there's the ACC. So nothing too crazy. let's get to the SEC now. Uh with the SEC, I mean, I kind of poo-pooed Florida just because of all the starters that went on to the NBA. Because Clayton Jr. didn't come back. You know what I mean? They would have got drafted. Ugh, should not be yawning. Sorry, guys. Um, but little did I know, Florida lost a couple games during the middle of the season, and like they flew under the radar there for a little bit, but then they've caught fire again and gotten really good. I think Florida's I think Florida's going to be a problem, and I think Florida can beat this tournament. Um, I don't think Alabama's going to win it because they won it last year with Sears, and Sears isn't there anymore. Nelson's not there anymore. Miller's not there anymore. The guys that were on Bama's team the last 2 seasons that made them real good, they're not there anymore. Um, I'm kind of leading Coach Calipari's way, where maybe we could have Calipari winning it all, and his squads. But from here, give me Kentucky. We know Kentucky's going to be a problem. I think Kentucky can get past LSU and Missouri to be here against Florida. Out of Auburn and Mississippi State, I'll take Mississippi State. But then out of Tennessee and Auburn, I'll take Tennessee. And then we have a rematch. Not a rematch, but like an in-state rival. Because Vanderbilt is in Tennessee. Give me the Vols. Give me the Vols. So we'll have one of our first teams moving into the SEC Final Four. Let me move him, make him a little bigger. Ole Miss and Texas. Hook 'em. I'll take Texas. And then out of South Carolina. You know what? Hell, why not? Give me Texas twice. Let me do a Texas two-step here. I mean, this isn't football. I have no clue. Dude, Texas could be absolute dog shit and lose to Ole Miss. I'd have no clue. South Carolina and Oklahoma, and give me the Sooners. Why not? And then out of Texas A&M and the Sooners, give me Texas A&M. But then out of Arkansas and Texas A&M, give me the Razorbacks. So then we have the Razorbacks. Here we come. Here's one of our first teams in the Final Four. Out of Bama and Texas, give me Bama. And then out of Florida and Tennessee, because it's going to be... Because I don't think Kentucky's beating Florida. Boom. And then out of Florida and Tennessee... Oh, give me the Gators. Let's go the Gators one more time. Sorry, I know it's not too professional, people, because you guys can see. But, because I don't have a cool, fun fill-in bracket where it's like, whoop, there you go. Bama and Arkansas. Give me Arkansas. And then out of the final and who wins this one. Yeah, I talked myself into it. Give me Arkansas. Give me Coach Calipari winning it. I talked myself into it. I don't like it. I don't like any of these predictions. I don't like any of them. But yeah, I don't. I mean, how common is it in the history of basketball with conference play? Florida, because here's the funny thing. Florida has gone, because before Billy Donovan coached Oklahoma, he went back-to-back with Florida, like with Joakim Noah and that group. And I'm wondering, in those years, when Florida went back-to-back, did they have seniors come back for a sixth year? Did they have You know, did they have sophomores that didn't transfer and then played their junior year? You know what I mean? Because we're in the middle of the NIL portal, and I'll be honest, did I follow the NIL portal last season for college basketball? No. Did I even follow the regular season for college basketball? Also no. So I don't know. I don't know where to gauge half of these teams, but we will see. Because honestly, I'll probably watch this game and go, holy shit! I actually think, you know, with how scrappy Florida was and how they barely got past Kentucky, yeah, maybe Vanderbilt could take them. I'm like, I don't know. But I don't know how often it is, though, that if there is turnover on the roster because seniors leave and they get drafted or whatever, I don't know if a new team with a new roster has come back and won a conference championship or a national championship in back-to-back years. The most recent one that I can think of is UConn, but UConn had key pieces that were with them in their 23 run that were there in 24 when they won and they went back to back. And then when you look at Villanova's from 2016 to 2018, yes, guys like Chris Jenkins were not there, but you still had Archie, not Archie Diacono. You still had Dante DiVincenzo. You still had Colin Gillespie. You had, anybody know Jalen Brunson? Anybody by any chance? No takers? Yeah, he was still there. So, like, there were a handful of, because that was Brunson's senior year, if I'm not mistaken, because in 2017, that team was still loaded, and they got as far as, I think, Wisconsin in 2017. But, anyways. Oh, Schwarber just fly out. Oh, jeez. Dude, they're going to freaking lose to Italy, man. Dude, this is what we get for, someone said no offense. I don't remember. Actually, let me go look it up. I'll look up who said it. Let me go, USA Baseball. No offense. Yeah, no weakness narrative. Hello, they're down 5-0. No, somebody, was it Bryce? Somebody said, I don't know if it was a reporter or the coach or somebody said, no offense to Brazil and Great Britain, but our next two games are huge. Somebody said that. Or maybe it was a different, was it, because I know the coach of Mexico was like, can't wait for that rematch. But somebody said something, USA said something, or maybe they didn't, or maybe somebody else said like USA was going to overlook some kind of team, like we're actually more focused on these next two games. And it's like, well, it's coming around and biting us in the ass because it's 5-0 right now. But Will Smith is on second right now, so we got a little something going here. It's tough to be just so damn good, you know what I mean? We freaking win so much. But yeah. All right. Yep. 2 outs. Oh. Someone's getting a little greedy there at second base. Trying to cheat over to third. All right. But these are going to be my... So again, we have from the Big Ten, I have Michigan winning. From the Big 12, I have Houston winning. From the Big East, I got UConn. And if it's not UConn, it's going to be St. John's. And if it's not going to be St. John's, it's going to probably be Villanova or Seton Hall. Because I don't think any other team in the last 5 years, excluding Georgetown. But then if we include Georgetown, I think we can go back to the last decade. It's gone to one of those 2 or 3 teams, whether it's UConn or Villanova. All right, and then in ACC, Duke. It's Duke to lose. And if it's not Duke, Virginia, because they're 2 seed. I don't know. And then in the SEC, I'm going to pick Arkansas. And if not Arkansas, Florida or Tennessee. And then after them, Florida or Tennessee, then Bama. Yeah, so that's my thoughts, guys. Anyways, let's follow along now and let's keep up with this, because college hoops are fun, and I'm interested to see some buzzer beaters and who wins where and when, because again, I think that's what's fun about like the tournament, and like because we've seen it in the last handful of years where whether it was Providence or DePaul, Maryland, like it could be BYU, Kansas State, all these teams that I just overlooked and said, no, they're not going to win. That's what's fun about some of these tournaments is there are things that, because again, I'll be honest, the games that I did not focus on and watch, because I'll be real, I know a lot more. I know what's going on a lot more with hockey and like the NFL trades and stuff than I do with college basketball. The truth is, like, some of these little informations that could give me like a, well, hey, remember when this team played this team? Like, I don't know these kind of informations to be like, let me tell you why Marquette's going to beat UConn again. And it's like, well, do you remember when this happened in this game or something? I don't have any of those kind of key points to make, but I think when we get into it and the momentum starts to build in some of these tournaments, I think we're going to see, we have seen it before as well, because we've seen it, but some teams could catch momentum. And, you know, Michigan, the 1 seeds across the board, Michigan, Arizona, Duke, St. John's, and who am I missing? Duke, Michigan, Big East. Oh, and then Florida. Like, we're not going to have 5 number 1s win their conference tournament, respectfully. Like, I don't think it's going to be chalked up to that. Like, I do think we're going to see a little bit of March Madness. So, anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on that. We'll leave them there. Be sure to hit that like button. We are going to... Oh, I don't even have my ad. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. But stay tuned if you guys want to. A little bit later, we're going to do a gaming stream because it is Mario Day. And I have failed to do a Mario video, which, yeah. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to tune in next time. I'll see you in the next one.